This town hall with Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, moderated by Charlie Rose, is a wonderful event for Columbia, and we're very, very proud to host it.
They represent two different generations, but they represent a kind of essential friendship. As Bill has said, it was instantaneous when they first met that they knew they would be great friends.
Both of you do involve a lot of risk, and sometimes you have to face the fear of failure. How did you overcome that fear, and what steps did you take to do that?
I think I was very lucky that when I was in high school, the computer was brought in there, and I developed a fascination for it, became kind of fanatical about it, so that I didn't view it as risky. I viewed it as this kind of fun hobby. Even when I went to college, which I didn't finish, but I spent time up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, I wasn't sure that would be my life's work. Now, as the chip came along and made it mainstream, it became very obvious that something dramatic was going to happen. And so my passion, my hobby, and the area I could start this company right at the beginning of the revolution, that coincided in a nice way. And I never felt it was risky. If Microsoft had failed, I didn't have kids or anything, I could go back to school and finish my degree and go get a job somewhere. I was very risk averse in running the company. I always made sure we had enough money in the bank to pay everybody for at least a year if nobody paid us at all. Because this idea, I was hiring people who had kids and families and they were moving to work there. And here I was, 19, 20 years old, and sort of telling these people I'd be paying their salaries. So I was actually very conservative on a financial point of view. And one of the few arguments I had with Steve Ballmer, who came in and played a phenomenal role in the success of the company, was how many people could he hire? Because I was trying to be so conservative. But I let him go full speed, and it turns out our financial success meant that we never had a conflict about that. But I think it's great to be risk-taking, particularly when you're young, trying out different things, fields that aren't very popular that you might enjoy. But I never got into a position where I was taking, actually in any meaningful sense, I was taking a big risk.
I mean, the risk for you would not to have acted because you felt the train was leaving the station.
Yeah, and it was so clear that, this was going to happen. And this was so much fun. I mean, I was a fanatic. I didn't believe in weekends. I didn't believe in vacation. My mom had to negotiate whether I'd come once a week for dinner.
No matter who the guest was.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
If you were to do it all over again, you're in our shoes, what industry would that be in? Where would you start your own business today?
I do the same thing. Yeah. I had fun when I was in my 20s, my 30s, now I'm 86 and I'm having fun. And so I advise, look for the job that you would take if you didn't need a job. Don't sleepwalk through life, and don't say it's all going to be great. I'm just marking time to get to be older. That's like saving up sex for your old age. I mean, it just is not it is not a good idea.
What are you urging them to do?
I'll explain it. You really want to be doing what you love doing. And you can't necessarily find it on your first job. Right. But don't give up before you find it.
Bill, if you were going to drop out of Harvard today, which field would you be most likely attracted to?
Well, I love the hard sciences, and there's some phenomenal things that people will get a chance to be part of. I'd still probably pick computer science because the work in artificial intelligence today is at a really profound level. Our ability not just to play games, but that is a profound milestone, the AlphaGo work that the DeepMind people at Google were able to achieve. And that kind of technology is in all the leading companies and a lot of universities. With AI, creation of agents, the ability to read and understand material, it is going to be phenomenal. So anything connected with that, I think, would be an exciting lifetime career. I also think in energy, we have the imperative to have energy that's reliable, cheap, and clean. And no system available today can provide that, whether it's for rich countries or for poor countries. And so the innovations there will be profound, and there's many paths that could provide that solution. Finally, I think biology, it's the most thrilling time. We are going to figure out obesity, cancer, even things that are very hard like depression, because the mind is even more complicated than other parts of the body. I see this through the lens of the disease of the poor, the infectious disease, where new vaccines, new drugs, we are moving faster than ever. And some of these are platform technologies like DNA vaccines that are going to give us just that one thing will give us lots and lots of solutions. And so working in that space is phenomenal. Now, I say this, to my children, they may not want to do hard sciences. The one who's picked wants to counsel patients and be a doctor, and even more than the science piece, that relationship with patients is what grabs her. So everybody has their own taste, but in terms of big impact, those 3 hard science problems would be at the top for me.
Bill, what surprises you about Warren?
I was so amazed that he comes to investing with this broad model of the world. So one of the first questions he asked me was, hey, Microsoft's a small company, IBM's this huge company. Why can you do better? Why can't they beat you at the software game that you're playing? And every day I was thinking about, okay, what advantage do we have? What do we do? But nobody ever asked me that question. And we talked about the economics of software, which is a very different and special thing. And he could relate it to things that he'd seen. And so he was able to put that in very clear terms. And so I found somebody whose model was rich enough that it helped me understand things that I really wanted to know. I mean, he enjoys what he does and he shares that with other people. And
Warren, whether you're going to make an investment in a company or whether you're going to buy the company, what are the factors that you're looking for?
I'm looking for durable competitive advantage. I'm looking for something that has a moat around it for a considerable period of time. And I'm looking for an honest and able management to run it, because I don't know how to run it myself. And I'm looking for a purchase price that's not excessive. But it's better to pay a little too much for something that's a very good business than it is to buy some bargain, but really a company without much of a future. And I don't have a ability to predict the future of most companies. So I'm looking for the exception. But the nice thing is, if there's thousands of companies out there, I really only have to be right on a couple.
Both of you have chosen partners well. Charlie Munger added what to you?
Charlie Munger changed my views. He refined them in a huge way in terms of looking for the quality companies and the ability to make an investment that would work out well for 5 or 10 or 20 years, as opposed to something I call it cigar butt investing, where there was one puff left in the cigar, but the cigar was free. So he kept forcing me in the direction of saying, is this really a business we want to own for forever? It's a great way to look at things.